Hi, my name is Sanel Sibanda. I'm a filmmaker from San Francisco, California. I'm here to talk about my new camera, the AG AF-100. It is the first professional micro four thirds inch video camcorder optimized for high definition video recording. The Panasonic AF-100 delivers the shallow depth of field and wider field of view of a large imager with the flexibility and cost advantages of use with the growing line of professional quality industry standard micro four thirds inch lenses, filters and adapters. The design of the AF-100 micro four thirds inch sensor affords depth of field and field of view similar to that of a 35mm movie cameras in a less expensive camera body. Equipped with an interchangeable lens mount, the AF-100 can utilize an array of low-cost, widely available still camera lenses as well as film-style lenses with a fixed focal length and primes. So here I want to talk to you about my experience when I first got this camera. So I got the camera without any lenses because I thought I would be able to use my still camera lenses from my Nikon camera. So here is what I have. I have many lenses. I have here this lens, which is a 70 to 300mm lens, and I also have this one, which is an 18 to 55mm. And this lens, these two lenses and many other ones that I have something that makes it almost impossible to use with this camera. I'll explain in a minute what it is. So once I did, I also was aware that I needed to get an adapter. So I did get an adapter, which actually works perfectly fine with this camera. These adapters are micro four thirds adapters. They are actually easily available online. You can get these adapters on eBay or any other online company stores for anywhere between $20 to about $100 or more. But just look out for micro four thirds adapter out there. Make sure that it's designed to fit your lens that you'll be using. So what I did, I tried it on. I tried it on, and I realized that it works perfectly fine. All you have to do is basically take the adapter and plug it in. There you go. And after that, I took my lens, my 70 to 300mm lens, thinking as I was that it will work fine with my new adapter. Let me see if it will. Well, it surely does. It worked fine, but now it was time for me to test the camera. So I turned the camera on right here, and I just want to show you what I did see once I turned on my camera. You see what I saw? Nothing, basically. And there is a reason why I couldn't see anything. I'll explain in a minute. Well, my lens has something that is missing. Let me just show you what would work better with this camera. Really, what works better with this camera is not the lens that I put there. It is these lenses that have an aperture ring. Those lenses will work pretty much well. It could be a Nikon, Canon, or Leica, or any other lenses. As long as they have an aperture ring, they enable you to use these still camera lenses with that camera. So one of the key things that you want to be careful to check as you are checking to make sure that this is the right lens for your for the camera is you want to try to look through there, and you will be able to see that it's opening and closing. See, these lenses with an aperture ring, they can open the holes wider, and that's one key of these lenses. That's why they are able to work with this camera, because of the aperture ring. So that's the key. You can use almost any lens with this camera as long as it has an aperture ring. So one of the things that I also learned is I was talking to my friend. There are actual lenses out there that work well, perfectly fine with the camera. And this is the lens that actually is designed for for this camera. This is the 14 to 140 millimeter. It's an HD lens, video lens. It is actually designed for the GH1 still camera, but actually it's a video lens designed specifically to work with this camera. This allows you to shoot automatic or manual, so it works perfectly fine indoor, outdoor. Slight maybe disadvantage, it's not as fast as other lenses, but it's what you need, this lens, if you're gonna work with a lens that is specifically designed for this camera. So as you can see, I'm gonna take out this lens and try to put on the lens that I'm talking about. This is the 14 to 140 HD lens. So I'm gonna put it in. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. It doesn't need any adapters. It's a standalone lens. See, it's on. The camera is working fine with that lens compared to my other lenses that do not have the aperture. So here we are, and while I'm holding this camera, I just wanted to demonstrate a few things that you can see that makes this camera different from what we have seen before. One of course, it has the LCD lens, which is high definition, and you can flip it in and out. And one of the things that makes it different, we are used to seeing our on and off switch right here with the AVCHD, but for this camera it's right here. And also we are used to having our ND filter on the lenses, but for this camera it's right here. And you can see that we don't have a microphone on the attached to the camera like we usually see on an HVX or other cameras, because the microphone is right here. That's one major difference. We also are used to having our zoom button right here, but in this case we do not have a zoom because this is a professional camera. So this is how pretty much we work our zoom in, zoom out right here with the lenses. It's a pretty good camera, very little other small details that make it different. As you can see here in the back, we have a few other AV out, and USB 2.0, HDMI and SDI out, and of course our headphone jack is right here, and the sensor for a remote, for the cam for the remote control. And we also have right here in the back, this is where we actually put our SD cards. I have 2 of them, and usually you would do well if you use anything like class 6 to class 10. Anything lower than that may not be perfect for this camera. It will work, but it's not going to give you the best image, so make sure you get the right SD cards for the camera. And I'm not going to talk too much about the camera, since you probably already have one. You have figured out all these things, you know how to use it. But one thing that I want to go back to mention is actually I want to talk again about the lenses, how you can use the lenses that are not meant for this camera, because there's something that is a little bit different with using these still camera lenses that you need to know about this camera. For example, I'm gonna put on my Nikon 1.4 lens, and in order for this lens to work well with the camera, you have to go into your camera menu and make sure that in your camera menu settings, which is, you go to your menu set right here, and once you are on your menu, you want to keep going down until you can get to other functions. Once you are on other functions, you see the lens check right there at the very top. You want to turn that off. That way your camera will be able to work well with any other lenses. That is the key. Make sure that the lens check is turned off. That way you will be able to use any lens that is not necessarily designed to work with this camera. So here I am with my 1.4 lens. It's working fine. See, because I have that lens checked off. So those are a few things that I wanted to share with you. I hope that you find this video very helpful so that you can get rolling with your camera. It took me a while to figure out these things, so I figured why not share what I know or what I have found or discovered with anyone who may be experiencing this similar problem. Because I checked on YouTube, I didn't see anything that explained all these details about the adapters that you need and about the lens check that you need to turn off in order to be able to use any lens with your camera. I wasn't also too familiar about the aperture, that you make sure you get the lens that has the aperture ring to be able to use with this camera. If they don't have an aperture ring, you won't be able to use those lenses with this camera fine. So that's what I wanted to share. I'm not going to talk too much about the camera since I'm not an expert, but I just wanted to just talk about my experience using this camera with these different lenses that are out and easily available on Craigslist, on eBay, and online. So make sure that you get the right lens for you. It has an aperture ring, that's the key, and also get the right adapter that's going to work with that lens. There's so many different adapters out there, but make sure that the one that you get is going to work and fit your lenses. Alright, I hope you enjoy this, and hopefully you find this video helpful, and if you did, please leave a comment so that I can learn how to do a better presentation next time to improve the usefulness of my video. Thank you so much.